So, welcome to my channel. This is the HiFiMan Ananda 2021, and I'm keeping it. Download the wallpaper in the description. I'll see you tomorrow. No, not tomorrow, next day. So, I've reviewed, I think, nearly every HiFiMan over the years. It's just come and gone. And I always know what to expect when they're doing it. And I did like the 6XXs back at, was it the 6X? Yeah, it was the Edition XX. My bad, the Edition XX, which looked exactly like this. And I did the HE1000s, which looked exactly like this. And then I did the Aria, which looked exactly like this. And I just kept going through them and rolling through. And, you know, I kind of have like okay, I know what's going to do. I know what they're fucking going to do. I know what they're going to sound like. I knew that already. Then, fast forward to this year, Sundaras on my wall there. Used to be the original Sundaras from like 2019. And it was alright. I love those headphones. Sundaras changed my fucking perspective on HiFiMan as a whole. I just sold those Sundaras, and those are the new 2021 revision because they're legitimately better. And they're better in a way that isn't like different. It isn't like so different. It's like, oh, it's a new different headphone. I should keep both. They took what I loved and they made it better somehow. And it took a lot for me to sell my original Sundaras. So here we are with the Ananda 2021s. And I heard the Anandas, the original. I never actually did a review on them, but I've done every other fucking thing and I didn't care. Now, sitting here with the 2021 revision, fuck. Because it dawned on me that I like these a lot. More than I like a lot of other things. And it's for reasons that they fit a slot that I haven't heard. Which is giant, planar, that is more laid back than what have we got? A fucking wall full of fucking things. The aggressive, those are a little bit bass light. And then those are like very, very point. And those things you can't buy anymore. And yes, I just recently did the Odyssey LCD X and XC review. And everyone knows I did that. And everyone knows I have these. What's the difference, Eos? Well, besides these being literally almost half the fucking price, which blew my mind at $700. Where is it? Yeah, $700 for this. It's like, well, the LCD-X, I think, have more bass response, a little better bass response, a little bit more detail on the highs, and a little maybe a bit more soundstage. These have more comfort, a much shittier wire, which we'll get to, and are probably some of the most chill fucking headphones you can buy for $700. And in the world of Zeos, where he has nothing but headphone after headphone after headphone after headphone, it's nice to take a break from intense music detail. Are you listening? Are you fucking listening to this fucking headphone? To just be like, all right, you know what? I set up for this review. I set up a couple amplifiers. I put the old figures that used to be on the thing back over here, picked the wallpaper, and I'm just going through track. Like, all right, I'll find a track that I could start and take the headphone off so you can hear the track. And that was 40 minutes ago. I just didn't want to take them off my head. I didn't want to take them off my head and start the review. I didn't want to have to put this camera on and then think about what I got to say. I just wanted to listen to music. Which, it's Monday, and no one wants to... And the vinyl video came out today. Pasta's messaging me because she's like, I hate you and everything you've ever done. I just needed to zone out with some music. And these are perfect for that. Before I get to more about the sound and like what it makes me feel, because this is a channel about what music makes me feel like, and not tech specs. When tech specs, go elsewhere. Let's look at the biggest problem with these, because the build looks like every other HiFiMan. They've got the more modern headband. They've got this, which is a little bit stiff, but I don't notice that. It's got the nice suede in the bottom, like I'm imagining that's not real leather on top. Spring loaded. It does have a little bit of an odd thing when you go to open them up. It like pulls that taut. So where you normally take a headphone, pull it over your head, you pull this and it goes, and you're like, oh fuck. So be careful that you don't pull it too hard, because I'm tempted with such a big headphone to pull it wide, and it goes, and then you put it on your... If I pull it all the way, it scrapes against my ears and head, and then sits there. So that just a note of contention. It might be better if you don't yank them real hard. The pads are pretty basic. They just take all the other pads they have and made them fucking-ganic. The way we measure pads on this channel is with the knuckle method. I take my knuckles, and sometimes the pad's a 2-knuckle, sometimes it's a 3-knuckle. This is a nice 4-knuckle. So, and I like the shape and feel of this better than I like on like the Sennheiser H800s. Where those are huge pads, and you could like fucking park a truck in them. It touches parts of my face that it shouldn't. Headphones shouldn't be touching my cheekbones. That's too far forward. And then if you got to move it back, then it feels like it's reaching around the back of my head, and there's like a gap. It's like too big. This is the right size for as big a headphone as I'd ever fucking want. They're nice and thick too. They're non-memory foam, which has become a trend, and I'm okay with it. Again, back to the Odyssey LCDXs. I had a pair from my friend Joe. He had an older pair. It was probably 4 or 5 years old. It had big, thick, stiff memory foam pads. And the new ones, the ones that just came out, the retuned Odysseys, no memory foam. I think people jumped onto the memory foam bandwagon because comfort, but the density of the foam is fucking up the tuning. So all these are going back to just standard foam. And it might affect the comfort a little bit, but it's worth it because these sound fucking amazing. Now, detachable cable, 3.5mm, nice. Nothing special, nothing fancy, nothing stupid. Sennheiser, again, H800s of the worst cable connector ever. But you'll notice I'm using a hard audio cable with the interchangeable connects for all these things because the wire that this comes with almost made me just puke and not do the review. Here is one of the 2 wires. Hold on, I gotta get it out of the box. Rich Evans is out of the box. So I know for a fact the Susvaras, which are like $6,000, come with this exact same cable, which is an offense. Like, look, I'll be the first person to tell you the headphone cable, like the materials, if it's silver, makes such a small amount of difference, you should probably ignore it. But a cable's something you have to interact with every day. If my mouse was covered with fucking glue, like mousetrap glue, and every time I picked it up, it stuck to my hand, I wouldn't want to interact with that mouse, no matter how good the DPI is. So why HiFiMan on the fucking God's green earth? Mostly green, sometimes it's brown. Would you pick a headphone cable that is basically some... I'm going to describe it to you real quick, then I'm going to move on, because everyone... I love to rant about cables, but my view is just too long. So it's a rubber tube, or vinyl tube because it's hollow, that they run their cables through, and you could see them inside. Look, ooh, there's the silver and copper, and it's got a gentle twist, and it goes all the way down, all the way down, and all the way down, and all the way down, and it comes to a floppy thing, and there goes the smaller tubes, where there's only 2, and you could see like it kinks. It's a tube. It's a vinyl tube, and this one actually has been out and straightened out a bit. But it's light and floppy, and it, like, you see that shape it's maintaining. When you're wearing it like a piece of clothing, it's just... And why would you do this to me? Why? I mean, the cable connectors themselves are okay. I mean, it's a $700 headphone, so it should have something nice. This, for some reason, is very, very dark. Like, that's like normal every quarter-inch adapter. That is very old. It feels like it's dull. Like they went back to the 70s to grab these. And they're Nutrix, so I don't know why they look different. But yeah, this cable is a fucking... And like I said, it's one of 2 cables. Here's the box, which I gotta... Because it's not overdoing it with the box for a $700 headphone. Maybe you keep it, maybe you don't. Doesn't really matter. Here's your little pull tab. It says Ananda planar headphone, silver center. It's got the word in fucking orange. And you'd think that they would, if it's got orange there, there'd be orange somewhere else. There isn't. You pull your little tab. Here is your other cable, which not balanced. Give me a 1/4" and you give me a 3.5mm with an adapter. Comes with the adapter to make a right angle 1/4" that's slightly shorter out of the same fucking material. And it's just, I mean, it's livable. It's livable. It's just, I don't like these cables. Moving on. Here's your little headphone protector. It looks like a little shirt. Or this was actually shoved in here because that's where the cables were. They were under that, and then it's got the nice velvet, crushed velvet box and instruction manuals and all sorts of other shit. I do approve of the little, just the presentation is nice. Its presentation is nice. On to the headphones themselves. So I've got 3 amplifiers hooked up to this Musician Pegasus DAC. I've got the VMV A1, which is the newest edition. I added this today. And I've got the Burson Soloist 3X, and I got the Singer SA1. And I've been swapping through them. Swapping, swap, to try to see if there's any significant change. Because sometimes a headphone that is very efficient, like the LCDX, you get the smallest little inkling of like, well, is this powering it better than this? It's easy to power. You can power it on mica origin if you really wanted to. In fact, that's what I did back when I reviewed the first LCDX. But this, now... I just want to stop the review, lay down on the floor, just lay down on my basement floor, and listen to Don Quixote. I'm going to unplug from there. I'm going to plug into here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's just... I'm going to unplug from here. Switch this off of the preamp because I'm preamping that with this. Plug into here. It just sounds good. I mean, let's put it this way. None of these are cheap, shitty amplifiers, so I really should have a cheap, shitty amplifier here. But if I don't hear a significant difference between a full Class A, another Class AB-ish, and that's a speaker amp, and this one, which is the Burst with the crazy op amps, the only thing I didn't turn on is any tubes. It's beautiful sounding. Doesn't matter what it's plugged into. It sounds gorgeous. And I guess I should now go into sound. Zeos, timestamp. So that people could just jump to this where I start talking about sound, because it's always one of the things that I, you know, neglect to do. Why does my GoPro fit so weird? It's like my head shrunk. These sound like I want to take a nap. But not like, oh, they're boring. Like, I want to strip naked. I want to rub myself down with expensive essential oils. I want to lay in a velvet bed with like a bear skin pillow. And I want to have, you know, beautiful women just fan me with giant leaves. And I want to listen to these headphones. And I want to drift off to dreamland. If you pictured that, first of all, I hope you didn't picture me stripped naked. I hope you pictured yourself or someone else stripped naked. But yes. Let me put these back on so I can give you the up to the minute. That's too much. I'm lowering that. They're such a big driver that when you play quiet, like not acoustic, what's the word I'm thinking of? Ambient. When you play like ambient stuff, it's just like, oh, it washes over you. There's no location of the sound. It's just everywhere. When you get to something that's very, very, very pointy, I'm going to use the word pointy, where there's like a, this in this case, that's like a synth generating. You have to make sure your hand is on the volume control because you have to lower it a bit. Because you go from this like huge wash of sound to a huge wash of a very specific sound, oh my god. Which is not bad. It just changes per, oh my lord. The Gungrave OST Endless Roller Coaster track. I don't know if this is on YouTube. Maybe Zeos, if you're nice, you'll link to this specific track. Because it has, I mean, it's YouTube quality, so it's not going to be like FLAC like I'm running here. But it's like, there's just bass note right channel, then it's just, yeah, this is the music this headphone was designed for. I don't know if I'd put metal on it. I think metal would become too soft almost. See, like that. It's just like lower it down. AC/DC Money Talks. It's... I'm going to keep this video as short as possible, even though it's probably already 20 minutes long. It's like filtering all your music through just a giant old speaker. a big old just chill horn speaker until it's not a chill horn speaker because you're putting on AC/DC way too loud. But you love it all the same. Ooh, Blade Runner 2049. That's a soundtrack. So yes, what are the best headphones for watching movies? Every headphone can be good. Any headphone that's... I don't like when people ask me what's the best headphone for something, because unless you're specifically saying, hey, what is the best headphone to examine low end, then you want a neutral headphone. You want something that's laid back, something that's controlled. But if you say, hey, what's the best headphone for enjoying bullfighting, like there's not really a specific headphone I'd choose for that. And then I have the other problem, and you guys could discuss this in the comments. If someone says, hey, I want a headphone, I only listen to thrash metal, does that mean I want to give you a headphone that exacerbates what I know thrash metal does, which is insane highs? Or do I want to give you like a slightly darker, more laid back headphone like this that sort of like relaxes those highs? Maybe which one of those is correct? Because if you like thrash metal, you like that shit. So maybe I should, but then again, I want to not make you die, so I should go with like a lesser. So it's like, it doesn't matter what genre of music you're listening to. That doesn't help me pick a headphone for you, because I need to know what you like.
Everybody Loves You Now.
All right, this is Billy Joel, Last Play at Shea, which I did attend, by the way. I was there, so you could hear me screaming in the background. And it's so big. It just sounds like I'm listening to Billy Joel playing a stadium, and I'm in a stadium. I wouldn't even call these like the widest soundstage, because a lot of times when you get super wide soundstage, you start losing out on things. But it just puts that crowd way out there. And then you hear the piano just boom, right in your face. It's got good imaging. Oof. Dread OST, Apocalyptic Wasteland. Go back to the big old Class A speaker amp, which so this is not balanced. This one's balanced, this is balanced, and this is unbalanced. God, I love this amplifier. Yeah, no, this is the best HiFiMan I may have heard. As far as like what I'm looking for in a HiFiMan, Sundars are open, natural, slightly bass light. They sound just clean and clear, and you just sit back and it's These are those, but twice the price, and they feel twice as big. That's the best way I could describe it. Because Sundars, you get the round headphones, planar, and you put it on, and you put on your source, whatever it is, and it's like, oh my God, it's just, it's natural sounding. This is not as natural sounding. This is bizarrely big and relaxed, and that's enough to add it to anybody's headphone collection. It just, you put it on, and it's like, oh man, this is different. I would actually, let me say would. I am actually listening to these for pleasure, which has Zeos, who has access to stacks and those GL1200s and infinite, the great Ohemps and every fucking one of the ones on the wall there, and 2 ZMFs, and I've got, Harmonic Dyne Zeus. I've got all these headphones, and I'd probably listen to these when I'm just done with all that shit. I just want something that's less. Just give me something that's less and yet somehow more. That's what Ananda sounds like. They've tuned it just so. And there's a wireless version of this, which, process that for a second, that has an actual Bluetooth receiver inside and volume controls on it. And I remember when they came out with that last 2 years ago, and I'm like, who the fuck's going to use that? Because it's a giant open back planar. Why would you? I would. If it sounds close to what this sounds like with its internal Bluetooth. And I don't think they're going to DSP correct it. I feel like that would, because you don't want to sell it's $1,000. It's a problem. It's $1,000. That's adding $300 to the cost of the headphone to make a Bluetooth wireless. I'll link a Bluetooth wireless, a BTR5, the Ear Studio 100. There's a whole bunch of them that you can just wire up They'll still have wires though, and that's the kicker. Is if you wanted to go completely wireless, you'd have to fucking attach a thing here and run it down, and it wouldn't be the same. So they really got you by the balls. I wish that the Bluetooth version of these was $100 more. Because then I think people would think about it and go, all right, you know what? Fuck it. Also, they could make the Bluetooth version also have 3.5 millimeters, then you just plug it in, power with whatever. And then you're just going to buy that one regardless. Because you want to have that option to go wireless. I don't want to rant too much longer. These videos are just fucking insanely long. I love these headphones. It doesn't seem like HiFiMan is fucking up as badly as they used to. They used to be that like, hey, you got HiFiMans? Hope they don't catch on fire just from sitting there on your table. And now they've sort of figured out their build, minus the wires. They got their packaging decent. I haven't heard anybody complaining about things snapping or falling apart or the pads, you know, melting on your ears. They've grown up. And now with this new tuning season, which I guess that's a thing now, tuning seasons are a thing, because as long as I've been doing this channel, before 2020, there was no like, oh, by the way, here's another revision. It's a 2021 revision or the 2019 revision. Like there were things like the Philips Fidelio X2 and the X2 HR came out, but that was because it was a whole company change and they completely changed everything about it, basically. So this might become a thing. Whereas Zeos, what was your thoughts on the HiFiMan Ananda? And I'm going to be like, what year? 2019 tuning, 2020 tuning, 2021 tuning. So this is a 2021 tuning of the Ananda, and it's fucking great. Maybe next year they change it to the 2022 tuning, and they bump the low end, and maybe they have like the driver shift, or they change the Mylar inside. I don't know. I don't know where we're going with this. This revision, like, for all time, I'm like, if you want the ATH M40X, I knew exactly what that sounded like. But maybe they changed the tuning this year, and I don't know what my set sounds like compared to the new set. I'm going to start re-reviewing all my old shit. Ship 9500 2020 revision tuning. Waiting for that. So, if you're looking for a big old headphone, that sounds big old. This is it. Here, I'll pull the fucking pad off. I hate doing that. Look at the size of the driver in it. It's just huge, and it extends past that ring. You can't see it. I have to yank apart the thing. But just with the phaser array and everything, I think these are probably one of the better buys in headphones you can get, period. That's it. Done with this video. I'm going to listen to them some more. I'm going to listen to them on this, or this, or this. Or actually, I do have the FIO M11 Plus that I have to review. So I'm probably going to plug these into that. And then that'll be my portable rig for a little while, and you guys can all enjoy me dicking about with them again in that video. Wallpaper, that one, it stuck out to me, literally. Giggity. In the description below, all these reviews have wallpapers. All those reviews have been gathered into a giant puddle and available for my patrons and subscribers. You can find the original artists and support them directly through Sauce Now and IQDB. If you want to see these reviews early, because, you know, I tend to have a lot of people watch things, and if everyone buys one, then they either disappear or the price goes up. So, if you want to get ahead of the crowd, $5 a month gets you videos early and into the yard sale, where these will not be. But I do sell a lot of other things that are sent to this channel, or that I purchase, or that people have donated, and you can get those from the 1st to the 10th of every month, as long as you're a supporter on either one of the sites. I tried to start at OnlyFans, by the way. Problem is, they want to see my face on social media, and I'm like, no. So there will not be a Zeos OnlyFans. How do people get OnlyFans for their cats? That's my real question. $10 a month if you go $5, you get to see yard sales and see reviews early. $10 a month, private behind-the-scenes Telegram chat on my phone, where you can ask me any questions you'd like. There are higher tiers above that give you other special, like, little features. But mostly that one. Put you in the chat with me. I'll answer any one of your questions. I'll share videos. I'll share things I'm doing with reviews early. Like, I'll pick that up and be like, guys, if you don't have the Ananda, you fucking need the Ananda. And then probably get the review even before I publish it to Patreon subscribe stuff, because it's just like, boom, Telegram chat. Just, hey, somebody check this for me. Hi-Fi Guides and the Hi-Fi Guides forums. If you want a forums to hang out on and talk about audio, I've redone my Discord. I've got a public Telegram. There's a streamer link in the bottom of the description. That takes you to all of it. Instagram, Twitter, all the Zeos things. I should say it at the beginning of the next video and see how many people actually use it, because who the hell's here? Who makes it to the end of the thing where I'm pointing at wallpapers and figures and ooh, pokey, pokey, pokey. Pokey, pokey, pokey. Anyway, sound demo also on another channel. Oh, the air conditioner finally shut off. I didn't think it was that hot out today. Sound demos are now located on another channel. If you want to see those, you can subscribe to that channel, or I linked them in the descriptions of the videos where it applies. I'll probably be doing the reviews over on that channel too, because I like to keep the higher viewed videos here and get the lesser viewed videos there, even though I don't know what the algorithm... I think it's starting again. God damn it. I can't win. Yeah, so all the things I just said and more, and I will see you in 2 days for another review. And thank you for sending these to me. I'm going to love them a little bit more for, a couple more days, maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks, see how it goes.